Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach Furness and this is my secret tips for finding the best wholesale suppliers. First of all, I just want to go over these wholesale deal websites, okay? They're a pain in the ass. I don't bother with them. I've actually signed up to them in the past and they're terrible, really. Let me just show you what I mean. This is the type of site I mean. Okay? I wouldn't bother with anything like this. Look at these markups they guarantee. It's absolute rubbish. Okay? The deals they actually provide, they're no good. A lot of the time they're actually unbranded. So the items you actually get sent, these deals are unbranded stock you just can't sell anyway. Or they're sending these items out that have no markup on them, okay? So they have there's no profit in them. Although they promise this kind of ROI or whatever, it's nonsense. So first thing I'm going to say is to avoid this kind of website. Don't bother with it. Now let's say you wanted to find a toy supplier. You would probably go on to Google and type in toy wholesaler. And that's what you'll probably end up doing. The only problem with that is everyone else is kind of doing the same thing. Everyone else is searching that. It's too broad. Looking for a toy wholesaler, it's too broad. You'll end up finding these really big wholesalers, and these big wholesalers, they're not great to deal with. A lot of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but I would say 80% of these big wholesalers, right, they're selling as retailers probably on Amazon at a price lower than what you can sell it for. So they're doing both sides, and I don't like dealing with wholesalers like that. So you got to be aware of that, okay? So if I was looking for wholesale items, I would probably first look more into brands or even the specific toy itself, you know? They're using toy as an example for a minute. But yeah, just dive deeper into it, okay? Look for a brand. Type in toys. You'll probably find what is good seller, and you can jump into it from there. So say you wanted more of a Crayola wholesaler, right? You could do this. Now this is going to bring up better wholesalers. Basically, the best place you could probably go for is to try and deal with the company direct, the manufacturer, okay? That, it can be expensive because they tend to want like a few £1,000s in orders. But if you're starting off with online arbitrage and you're moving into wholesale, you probably want to do the wholesale part right. But by the time you've got to that stage, you might have a few grand saved to actually make a big order from a manufacturer. So yeah, I would try and go for the manufacturer, or find like a small wholesale business. They tend to give really good deals, and they're tend to be strictly wholesale, and they're not dabbling in something else and selling your stock, so you can't compete against them. But already I'm seeing a lot of different wholesalers hanging around here. I've not checked any of these out. I don't know if they're legit, but you could do this. They don't always show prices on the page. Sign in. Yeah, a proper wholesaler won't show you the price anyway. You have to sign up, okay? And to sign up, you're going to have to send all your details into them, all your business details, and hopefully they approve your account and they'll send you a price list. So this is one of my tips really for looking, is to kind of dive deeper into what you're looking for, searching for in a wholesaler. Don't go so broad and just search toy wholesaler. Go further into it, like Uno card wholesaler, and then you might find like these unusual wholesalers. NDA, they come up as a wholesaler. I don't actually class them as a wholesaler. Yeah, they're not a wholesaler in my eyes, to be honest with you. Any wholesaler selling as a retailer is not a wholesaler, and a lot of them do it, and I think it's quite wrong, to be honest with you. But this is basically what you got to do. I've not heard of this one before, if I'm honest with you. See, a lot of them have minimum order quantities, right? So you have to meet these minimum quantities, otherwise you're not going to be able to place an order. They tend to be around £500 minimum order. Some of them can be a few thousand if you go into manufacturers. But when they're really low, like £50, I'd be a bit wary of that, to be honest with you, because they want to sell quantity. They have to sell quantity to make profit. That's the whole point of the wholesale. But if a wholesaler is saying they've got a minimum charge of £50, yeah, that's a bit weird to me. They're probably selling on Amazon. You'll probably buy the stock from them. You'll go to list it on Amazon, and they'll be there selling it for the same or less than what you're selling it for, because they can probably afford to do it a lot less, you know. So this is something really I would do after online arbitrage, but as well as, okay, both of them together is like a really strong business model. But I'd start with online arbitrage, build it up, and you'll get into the wholesale market. There's a lot more benefits of using wholesalers over online arbitrage. I mean, you got easy access to replenishable stock, so you can keep replenishing your stock. If something runs out or something's about to run out, you can just buy bigger quantities, you know. And they're happy to send, if you're using a prep center at that point, the wholesaler doesn't care. They're going to send it to wherever, okay? They'll send it to your prep center. If that's what you want, you buy from Argos or Asda or something, and they see a prep center address, they're going to be like, oh, I'm cancelling that order. So yeah, there's benefits, different things, but wholesale is a really good way of building your business up a bit. But I would definitely use a mixture of both. Arbitrage and wholesale is definitely the best method, I think. So that option was basically, when you search, don't be so broad in your searching on Google. Just dive a little deeper and make better searches, okay? Use longer keywords in your searches for wholesalers, and you'll find better wholesalers. Your other option is you can research wholesale events and fairs. So there's a lot of events and fairs all over the UK and US for wholesalers, and these wholesalers attend these events trying to sell their stock. So what you can do is actually look for wholesale events in Google. Wholesale fair. I think the NEC did one. The spring fair. So they all do these. And what you can do is go on these websites, right? And a lot of them will show what traders are attending the show. So here's the list of people, the traders actually attending the show, if it wants to load. And from here you'll see a lot of different wholesalers. Again, this is another method of finding wholesalers. This can be quite good. If you want more like toys or kitchen stuff, you look for wholesale kitchen fairs, you look for wholesale toy fairs, whatever. And then you just do some research on this company, you know, and you see what you can find out. Here we go. Another wholesaler we found. I don't know if that's more private label kind of wholesale there. I'm not too sure without jumping into it. But it was quite easy to find that. No, they're not. They're legit brands there. Some of them anyway. Some of them might be those, you know, white label kind of private label brands. But there are some brands there that are legit, real brands. And yeah, so that was my other method. Have a little search for fairs, wholesale fairs. Then find the trader list, okay? See who's trading at that fair. Go through it, copy their names into Google. That's just an easy way. There's so many ways of finding wholesalers other than just typing in a broad search of toy wholesaler into Google. It gives you the best ranking wholesaler, but it doesn't mean it's the best wholesaler for you. These are big wholesale companies. These big wholesale companies, they're probably selling retail, as I've said, and they're competing against you. You don't want to be working with anyone like that. So my other little saucy little tip, you can go and use eBay. I've actually done this before, right? So if you could head over to eBay and then you search for this kind of stuff you're looking for. What were we looking for before? Crayola, wasn't it? Something. Crayola. And you will actually find wholesalers on here. Now if you find someone selling stuff really cheap where there's not quite enough profit in it for you, okay, but if you had like an extra 10% or 20%, you could make really good profit on it. Email the person selling. Email them and say, can you do any discount on me buying 100 units or whatever? Do you know what I mean? So you can actually find really good wholesalers this way. I have found some cracking wholesalers this way, and a lot of them now, they email me weekly with some stock they're getting in before it goes on eBay, and I'm getting it really cheap, and I can then put it onto Amazon. And these are like small companies. They ain't big companies. They're fairly small companies, you know, and they're the easiest people to deal with because you can actually speak to someone properly, and yeah, you can build a good relationship with them. That is a really good tip because I don't think many people know you can actually get around it that way and do that. This is the last place I would imagine people would come and look for a wholesaler. But yeah, that's how I would find it. See, but don't go looking for your standard company, you know, like a big company. If you see Argos here, don't go messaging them. There's no point. But if you see anything else, I've not dealt with these people before. Maybe they'll sell wholesale. And maybe on Amazon this is selling for £9, and I can go speak to these and say, if I buy 100 of these, can you do it for £2.50, £3? You know what I mean? Or in between there, and there might be some money in that. It is well worth doing that. So those are my few little tips on wholesale. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any recommendations for videos, whatever you want, drop a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you again next week.